Taurus friends, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Taurus June 2025 astrology horoscope forecast. We've had a lot of changes in the cosmos with outer planets changing signs, and that means new long-term themes for you. Saturn moving into Aries, Neptune moving into Aries, and this month, Jupiter moving into Cancer. So I'm going to talk about these changes, especially focused on your shift in luck as Jupiter rules luck, and see what that change can mean for you. We'll also talk about factors that are shorter term but very potent at this time, and some other things that make June special from the astrological perspective and what you need to know about that to have the best month possible. This is for you if Taurus is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Taurus placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. Very late degree Taurus friends, so birthdays May 15th and the days around May 15th through the rest of the sign, or Taurus degrees like 23 degrees through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Gemini report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so let's talk about the shorter term transits now. These are the ones that are just kind of present now in this short period of time that you will really be feeling. Lots of energy in Gemini. Gemini patterns move very differently than Taurus patterns do. Taurus is a fixed sign. Gemini is a mutable sign. So the energy this month will be very scattered, very much in an upward spiral where progress happens a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. A lot of diversity in your interests, a lot of movement, a lot of mobility, a lot of communication. And these themes that I'm talking about for the short term are also going to be enhanced for the long term as Gemini moves, or as Jupiter moves into the house that's ruled by Gemini. So we've got a lot of short-term energy now that is making this month very Gemini-like. But note that a lot of the themes I'm going to talk about that are very strong for this month are also going to be carried for a whole year from June 2025 to June 2026, because Jupiter is about to move into the Gemini house for Taurus. So what does that mean? You'll be driving all over the place. You'll be talking to people a lot, writing prolifically, speaking prolifically, creating prolifically. This can have a lot to do with your siblings or other relatives, a lot of activity there. You may be having to do a lot of stuff like extra busyness. And specifically for Taurus, this accentuates your second house of money. So you may be noticing a lot of focus on money, earning money, making money, doing things involving money, financial opportunities, paying things off, making purchases, making plans, changing how you look at your investments or your biggest investment, which is in yourself and your capacity to earn money. All of those topics will be very strong at this time. And like I said, it will be dizzying. It will be very busy. You will find that, you may need to ground and rest in between all of the activity. This is definitely not a month where you'll be able to just kind of hang out in your special quiet spot and do nothing. Although there is a lot of longer term energy that's pointing towards the importance of you having a sacred space that you can retreat to. Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries are lighting up. Saturn for several years, Neptune for around 14 years, your 12th house of your quiet, personal pursuits and your sacred space. So there is a theme that is beginning around this time where you need to establish that space and you need to find that quiet within yourself, lending itself towards meditation or inner work and, really just connecting in with the lesser seen space. So those themes will be present, but they will be kind of hiding behind all of this Gemini busyness. Okay, so let's talk about, a little bit just about these outer planets moving into Aries. I do have a separate video and podcast on Neptune and Aries, so I'm not going to go too much into that because I talk about all of the possible ways I can see Neptune having effects while moving through the sign of Aries for the next 14 years. Look for it on my podcast and look for it on my YouTube channel because I have a video as well. And then I do also timestamp that at the end so you can see the general implications and down to what is specific in it for you. Now, Saturn being in the 12th house really wants you to restructure your mind. It wants you to work through the attic of your being and clear out all the cobwebs, all of the stuff that's yucky there, the stuff that hasn't been touched in years, your ancestral garbage, your ancestral gold, and you'll have a several year period where strengthening your mind, strengthening your focus, and braving into those dark places that you have been avoiding, and bringing coherence and bringing light and bringing fresh air to those spaces and bringing systems and organization to that space is going to help you to up-level in every different way. Okay, that's a long-term transit. Now, some of you may experience this as heaviness. Saturn can be heavy and create a lot of pressure. So you may find that the pressures in your mind may be getting beyond what you can manage yourself. And if that happens, it would be the time to seek assistance with this. Fortunately, in this time in our lives, in this time in humanity, there is so much awareness around mental dis-ease and the ways that we can bring more ease and harmony to that space. So we're taking the stigma out of mental challenges. We're taking the stigma out of having to ask for help. And this is a really great time because I know many Taurus people are very self-reliant and they try to not put their, worries on somebody else. But this is a time where you can really benefit from that, and even just getting a little bit of a help, like from an app, like from a device called Muse, M-U-S-E, that can help you have brain neurofeedback where you can see the brain waves that you're utilizing throughout your day and positively change them with your own mind. Things like this, these kind of tools are very, very exciting, and you may find that it transforms your mood and transforms your world. And that's a long-term theme that you will see happening. But it may feel very strong now in the beginning because you don't know what's happening. But now that you know what's happening, it's Saturn pushing you to take action and make dedication to this space in your life. Okay, so Jupiter is moving into Cancer on June 9th. And it will be there from June 2025 until June 2026. The expansion of home and family and housing and real estate and working from home and blooming where you're planted, or diversifying what feels like home to you into multiple different locations. That is a story of the general transit of Jupiter through Cancer. Now, specifically, and so you may see your home size get bigger or your freedom at home get bigger. So let's say you're married to a mortgage and it's expensive and you downsize. Jupiter's freedom is being applied to you through having less overhead. Some of you may get more overhead but bigger space. So Jupiter's freedom is coming to you through more space. You see, so look for home and family expansion, whether it's family count or roommate count or resident count, or just the quality of experience within your home and family is looking to expand. Sometimes Jupiter causes ruckuses on its way to improving things by making you see that there is more trouble in a certain situation than you have been focusing on, so that you then can work through those issues so that you then can expand. But fortunately for Taurus, Jupiter moving through Cancer is in a better angle, and actually in a really good angle for Taurus placements. This is the angle of opportunities. It's in elemental language that is more in sync with yours. So hopefully this Jupiter transit will be even more beneficial than the last one was. Although hopefully a lot of you saw some financial improvements from Jupiter having moved through your second house, and you may still be getting some goodies at the end here from that movement. Those of you who are middle to later degree placements, so we'll just say like May-born Tauruses, in the Placidus house, Jupiter will be influencing in Cancer, but will still take longer to move through your personal chart. So you may have some more of those money goodies ahead of you, especially the later degree people, that are May born. Okay, so Jupiter moving through the third house, I told you this is going to look very similar to the busyness, the communication, the expression that the shorter term transits are holding now. But something else to know about this is that this is bigger, this is wider, this is longer. The big writing projects you've always wanted to focus on, this could be your year. The big launches could be right now, which is something else that I guess we really need to discuss before I go too much further, is that this month of June is one of the only months of the entire year of 2025 that is free from personal planet transits or personal planet retrogrades or their shadow periods, and where most of the outer planets are going direct, except Pluto. Okay, so that means there's still this energy of the tides going out. If you followed my tidal analogy, then you will know I've been saying since September into the middle of May, we've really had an inward and backward focus where you would be standing on the shore and having your best manifestation be responding to what comes to the shore, rather than trying to put things out on the waters to be taken far and wide, which is harder to do when the tides are coming in. But from the second half of May, all of June, the tides are going out and in a big way. So you can make up for time that you have, not been able to make forward progress. In a very short amount of time, a lot of things can gel. Things you've been researching, which, by the way, this is a very good energy for researching, things you've been studying, things you've been teaching. All of those energies are very concentrated now and are getting ready to have another year of boosting. If you want to learn a topic, amazing time to start or get deeper into that. If you want to teach a topic, amazing year, banner year for education. If you want to start, launch a teaching project, this month could be one of your best months possible. So a lot of that is really, really exciting. And you will see that the blessings this month from that may expand over the next year. But if you have something important to do that you want to go far and wide, where the tides can carry things out for you, this month will be the last month that you will have that, because in July, early July, the shadow period for Mercury retrograde will start, and we will do more dipping in and backwards. It won't be as intense for the rest of the year as it had been for the last year, because we're not going to have Venus retrograde. We're not going to have Mars retrograde like we did in the last year. We just have to deal with the occasional Mercury retrograde and the whims of the outer planets. So this is your big month. Big purchases, big sales, big commitments, contracts, big events, big travel, big moves, big job changes. So much great energy around that this month. If you have been wanting to do business with this month and this year may also be a very big time for that. If you're thinking about your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your nephews, or, someone in there. And then, of course, that's all Gemini energy. And then the Jupiter in Cancer part is your parents and your kids and any other family member, really. So any family member that you have that you've been considering doing something with, a creative project, a business project, deepening connections with, this month and this year hold great value. And if you're trying to initiate something like that, June would be a major, amazing launching point for those ideas that may develop from the time to come. Okay, so let's talk about Mars. Mars is finally pushing on from its big focus in the energy of Cancer, both through the sign of Mars having been doing a lot of retrograde action in the sign of Cancer, but also spending some of that time when it was in Leo through your fourth house of Cancer. So you've had a lot of home and family and real estate and housing focus, and now you're ready to go to the next level. But Mars is moving on. So it will move into Virgo this month. And when it does, it will be accentuating your fifth house. And this is going to be a trine for you. So all month, you're going to have Mars, the planet of action, of energy, moving in the most favorable configuration, the trine, with your Taurus placements. This is a time for material progress. This is a time for tangible outcomes. This is a time for visible fruit to be, taken from the efforts that you've made before. So it can be very productive. You can redo your whole organization schedule. All of your productivity will be supercharged, and all of your passions. So for Taurus, Virgo is in your fifth house of love and romance and true love and children and creativity and, where you shine and your hidden talents and your passions and you being noticed for your gifts. You may notice or discover something that you're good at that you didn't even know. So this is a really good time to use that diversity interest of Gemini and get your fingers in a lot of pudding pies with taking classes or trying things on or going to the craft store and going nuts, or, things that you've always wanted to try, giving those a go now, because you could make a very big discovery that could be in effect or affect you for a long time to come. And again, this is a beautiful angle. So that's all enhanced for you at this time. On the days around June 11th, we've got a full moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. That for you can bring, for everyone can bring fullness, fruition, drama, for better or worse, in teaching and learning. If you're trying to embark on a study of any topic, this could be an amazing time for you. If you want to study astrology, go to beastropro.com. beastropro.com. That's my astrology certification course. Or you can study anything else And this Sagittarius full moon in the days around the 11th may bring something to important fruition. Maybe you're finishing something. Maybe you're starting something. Maybe someone close to you is graduating. This is going to bring this energy. You could also be traveling long distance to a different country or get a visa, or something with immigration may come through at this time. In the days around, before I go there, specifically for Taurus, this is going to happen in your 8th house of other people's money. So you may see something notable happen financially, or with something like wills or sweepstakes or money coming in out of the blue. Then in the days around June 25th, we've got the new moon in Cancer, which is adding more energy to this, everything that we already talked about with your 3rd house of Gemini, the busyness, the talking, the mobility. You might get a new car, you might get new devices all this month, really. And the energy around this new moon is very good for new birth. A couple of other important things to note is that we are out of eclipse season, so the power of the March, April into May time that we've just experienced, we're having a little rest, a little integration from the changes that happened then. And we also have a ton of aspects this month, almost 30 aspects, which are the planetary connections between each other, where they make mathematical connections. Just busy that way. So you'll see a lot of sweet spots, a lot of salty spots. If you like the dates and you want more dates and you want to see all the sweet and salty points, plus we've got 2 outer planet connections that are long-standing. You want to see all of that, go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free VIP newsletter. You will also get all of my content early, and you'll get my weekly reports, including my monthly written star report. So when you go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, get the welcome letter in your inbox, click on the archive link, and then put June 2025 astrology in, you'll get this report. And the sweet and salty dates are about halfway down, and the whole second half of the newsletter has to do with me outlining my favorites and the ones to be most awareful and careful of. Now, we have a lot of outer planet transits or outer planets changing. This is very unusual for humanity to have so much within less than a year of planets moving into different signs. Jupiter into Cancer. Uranus will move into Gemini next month. Saturn and Neptune into Aries. Pluto went into Aquarius recently. It's unusual that happens. If you want to see more about what is going on for everybody, plus specifically what is going on for you with these changes, go to anniebclarity.com, Annie, the letter B, clarity.com, and get my outer planet transit report. That will tell you what is up with these long transits and the theme changes that will be starting up for you and all the dates that are relevant for you. Again, if you want to study astrology and you resonate with how I teach, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.